Welcome to Newt's World Podcast on the iHeart Podcast Network. This is episode 15, the final episode of our series on the greatest American inventions between 1776 and 2026. We've traveled from Samuel Morse's telegraph to Enrico Fermi's nuclear reactor, from Orville Wright's 12 seconds of Kitty Hawk to Jonas Salk's vaccine that silenced the iron lung. From the moving assembly line to the internet to GPS. Today we arrive at the invention that ties them all together. The device that carries the phone call, runs on the transistor, connects to the internet, is guided by GPS, fits in your pocket, and is used by more human beings than any device in history, the smartphone. On January 9, 2007, Steve Jobs walked onto a stage at the Moscone Center in San Francisco and told the audience he was going to introduce 3 revolutionary products: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, a breakthrough internet communicator. These are not 3 separate devices, he said, pausing for effect. This is one device. Jobs was right, but the iPhone's genius was not in introducing 3 categories of product. MP3 players and phones and internet browsers had all existed. The genius was the integration, the seamlessness, the multi-touch screen that made the interface feel intuitive in a way previous smartphones had never managed. The device felt like a single thing, not 3 things forced into the same box. The iPhone did not immediately dominate the market. Nokia sold more than 1 billion phones a year and was considered invincible. BlackBerry owned corporate users. The carriers were skeptical that Apple, a computer company with no phone experience, could make something that worked on their networks. And the first iPhone had real limitations. No third-party apps, no 3G, no GPS, a mediocre camera. But it sold well, and in July 2008, Apple launched 2 things simultaneously: the iPhone 3G with faster connectivity and GPS, and the App Store. The App Store was the second revolution, as important as the device itself. Any developer anywhere could write software for the iPhone and sell it to every iPhone owner. Apple takes 30%, the developer keeps 70%. Within days, thousands of applications. Within months, tens of thousands. Today, more than 5 million apps have been published. The app economy generates over $1 trillion in revenue annually. The industries the smartphone disrupted is a list that takes a while to get through. Photography. The standalone consumer digital camera market essentially collapsed as iPhone cameras reached professional quality. Navigation. GPS devices were obsoleted by mapping apps. Banking. Mobile banking became the dominant way most people interact with their finances. Retail. Mobile commerce expanded e-commerce dramatically. Transportation. Uber and Lyft exist only because of smartphones. Hotels, restaurants, news media, dating. The list of industries transformed by the smartphone is almost identical to the list of industries. 6 billion people carry smartphones today. Let's sit with that number, 6 billion. That means more than 3/4 of the human population of Earth is carrying a smartphone. In 2007, when the iPhone launched, the entire human population was about 6.5 billion. We have added more smartphone users in less than 20 years than there were people on Earth when Steve Jobs walked onto that stage. For hundreds of millions of those users, particularly in developing economies, the smartphone was a first computer, a first bank account, via mobile money systems, a first library via the internet, a first camera, a first map, a first encyclopedia. The barriers to information and connection that had defined human experience for most of history fell within a decade for most of the people on Earth. Steve Jobs died on October 5th, 2011, of pancreatic cancer at 56. He had been living with the disease for years and had not let it slow his work. He was not a simple man or an easy man. Former colleagues describe a perfectionist who could be brutally critical, who demanded the seemingly impossible and sometimes got it. He was adopted, dropped out of college, was fired from the company he founded, returned to save it from near bankruptcy, and built it into the most valuable company in the world. What I want to emphasize is something simpler. He believed with absolute conviction that the things we make should be worthy of us, that advice we carry every day and interact with hundreds of times a day should be beautiful, not merely functional, that the experience of using a tool should be a pleasure, not a frustration. That conviction has shaped the entire technology industry in ways that still ripple outward. We have now traveled in 15 episodes from 1844 to 2007, from the telegraph to the smartphone, from a message tapped in Morse code to 8.5 billion Google searches per day, from a horse speed world to a light speed world. Every one of these inventions was built by people who were told they couldn't do it. Morse was an artist, not an engineer. The Wright brothers were bicycle mechanics. Jonas Salk using an approach the scientific establishment considered wrong. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. American innovation has never been primarily about credentials. It has been about the willingness to look at a problem, a real problem, something making people's lives harder or shorter or more constrained, and refuse to accept that it can't be solved. That willingness is not unique to Americans. Human ingenuity is universal. But America created the conditions, the freedom to fail, the culture that celebrated the inventor, the capital markets that could fund risk, the rule of law that protected the returns on innovation, in which that universal human ingenuity could flourish at an extraordinary scale. 250 years, 15 inventions, and we have barely scratched the surface. The vaccines we haven't developed yet, the clean energy technologies being built in laboratories right now, the artificial intelligence systems rewriting what's possible in medicine, materials, and discovery. America at 250 is not finished, not even close. Thank you for listening to this series. 15 episodes, 15 inventions, 250 years of Americans doing what Americans do, looking at the impossible and building it anyway. Newt's World is produced by Gingrich 360 and iHeartMedia. Our executive producer is Garnsey Sloan. Our researcher is Rachel Peterson. Special thanks to the team at Gingrich 360. If you've been enjoying Newt's World, I hope you'll go to Apple Podcasts and both rate us with 5 stars and give us a review so others can learn what it's all about. Join me on Substack at Gingrich360.net. I'm Newt Gingrich. This is Newt's World.